Welcome to Recycling Works television show. We're an environmental talk show that is designed to inform, educate, and inspire our viewers to recycle. And today our guest is Senator Donzella James.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
And we're also joined by our co-host, Judy Knowles.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Senator. It's good to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It is so wonderful to have you here because we know that you are a friend of the environment, and it's wonderful to know that there are people that are on our behalf at the Capitol that are concerned about environmental issues. So we would just like to maybe ask you a few questions and talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the Capitol.
Sounds good.
Okay, good. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you aspire to become a state senator?
Oh, my. Well, I am a native Atlantan. My husband and I dated as teenagers and married early, bought our house, and I spent a stint in the neighborhood a week after being in the house. And I said, what is going on? And that's when I realized that we had a landfill that was a huge landfill just less than a mile from our house. Oh. So as at that point, I was furious. We bought our dream home. We had only one child at the time, and I wanted to live there. I loved that house. But I knew that I was going to have to do some things. So I found out about Keep South Fulton Beautiful. I saw them outside picking up trash. So I talked to a few. They invited me to come and help pick up garbage and keep our community clean. From that point, I started doing research to find out why, what was that landfill, why was it there, who did it service, because I think everybody makes garbage, so everybody should be able to take care of their own and not our community being the dumping ground.
That's right.
As a result, I found out we had more landfills in our community, in our whole big vicinity that I lived in. So that started me to really say, what can we do to recycle, reduce, compost, and close these landfills down in my community? And that's how I got started. And as I got started, I went to our Fulton County Commission meetings, and I sat with all the commissioners asking them to close up the landfill. And then I started rallying people in the community and finding that they felt the same way I did. And they didn't smell anything unless it was raining real hard and right after the rain or something. But that's terrible. So then we said, well, we don't even have lining in our landfills in Georgia.
Wow.
We said, well, at least we need a lining because we're very close to the Chattahoochee River. So as a result, we just continued to work in that direction. And the next thing I know, people were asking me to run for office.
Wow. So were you able to get legislation to put the lining in the landfills?
Even before that, I went and rallied for it. And I got with a lot of groups that were environmental groups that were really working very hard in Georgia and talked to them. And then I went to other states and found out what they did with their garbage and why were they sending it from Alabama to Georgia or from all the way from New York to Georgia. We were even getting some garbage from California.
Wow. In
our landfills. I could not believe it. And Judy, you know how I hate that. So we did change it. Mm-hmm. And we got those landfills closed up. The 96 Olympics came to Georgia. Wow. And we said, this is one way to close it. And so the manager of, the county manager of Fulton County told me, I'm tired of Senator James, at that time, Donzella James coming in my office asking me to close the landfill. Maybe we can use that whole area for a venue. And they did. And so they built something, and I was so happy. I smiled for a year.
Wow, that is a fantastic story. Thanks for sharing that with us. And we'll be right back to learn some more about how you've, what things are going on at the state capitol. Oh, yes. And we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Judy Knowles, and I'm the director of Keep South Fulton Beautiful. That sounds like a slogan, doesn't it? But Keep South Fulton Beautiful is much more than a slogan. We're a nonprofit, 501c3 grassroots organization. Keep South Fulton Beautiful operates on a 5-step program. We get the facts, we involve the people, we plan systematically, we focus on results, and we provide positive reinforcement. We would love for you to join us.
Ew, Daddy, recycle this, recycle this.
Where you learned that from, son?
Recycle off me, Dad.
Play Recyclopoly and learn why and how recycling works in a fun way. Order yours today, 770-893-8861 or www.recyclingworkstv.com.
Jessie and Green Eyes, two recycling superheroes, both unique with their own superpowers.
Jesse, someone's throwing paper in the trash. Oh no, let's go stop them. You can't throw paper in the trash. Don't they know recycling works? Don't they know recycling works?
You don't want to miss them. Coming this fall.
And Judy, would you like to ask Senator James a question?
Yes, I do have a couple of questions I've been thinking about. Senator James, would you tell us kind of what environmental issues are close to your heart? I know that you've been in the Capitol for a few years and you've done a lot of work toward the environment. Can you share with us kind of what's and 1 and 2 and 3 in your heart, maybe?
Well, many years ago, back in the 90s, I introduced legislation called Zero Waste by 2020. And Georgia was not ready for that.
That was
because it
controversial,
included
yeah.
a bottle bill in the home of Coca-Cola. Who would have the audacity to tell them what to do with their bottles and cans? But I was not trying to do that. I just wanted to make a safe, clean environment. I wanted to stop letting toxins leach down into the earth and then contaminate our water that we have to drink or our fish have to live in that we eat. So I wanted to just make sure that we kept our children healthy. Oh no, Coca-Cola was mad with me. But pretty soon they saw that I was pushing recycling of cans, bottles, everything, reducing. But the glass companies even came to me and said, oh no, you're gonna hurt us, we're in your district. So I listened for a minute. I knew it really wouldn't hurt them, but I saw that this was big business. So I saw that I was going against a big giant, but I was just needed to make sure that our children and generations to come could be healthy and free from any kind of contaminants in the air. So I said, what do I do here? So I introduced the legislation. Right now it's about 40 states that picked up almost the entire 2020 legislation. And we didn't, but we did pick up some parts of it. So I'm very, very proud. Many people don't even know that I was the author of most of this because different legislators who were in higher positions took pieces of my Zero Waste by 2020 and introduced it. So but one good thing is that it did pass. They bought into it. And so all the hard work and all the prayers and staying up late at night and studying and going to talk to different environmental groups and going and spending my own money to go to Louisiana, to the brownfields and to California because I was so excited about how they recycle. And even New York, even though it was still dirty there, they did a whole lot. It would have been 10 times worse. So I saw that we did the go as you throw. In other words, the more garbage you make, the more money you pay. So in our landfills, they started charging you for the amount of garbage that you would bring there. And then if you didn't bring it, then you had to hire one of the companies that would come to your house and pick up your trash. Then we kept promoting recycling. And the big companies, all of a sudden, Coca-Cola and the others, decided they wanted to recycle. So they started, each company had a big department that they introduced into recycling. And then recycling had already become a big business throughout the country. So by 2002, I was really feeling happy that we were implementing little pieces of the Zero Waste by 2020. But we still have a long, long way to go even now after all these years. So it's much work to be done at the Capitol. One thing that kind of turned us backwards was, we had this big fund that we wanted to make sure that we had something to do with tires when they come off of vehicles.
Yes.
Right.
And so a bill passed before I even introduced any legislation that required everyone who bought tires in the state of Georgia to pay, I think, an extra $1.
That's correct.
And that money was going into a fund. Well, up until, say, maybe 8 years ago, that money was used to dispose of those tires. Then all of a sudden, some legislators who had come in power by then realized that they had some money that they could take and do what they wanted with. And unfortunately, they're not doing anything for the environment.
Wow.
And it's a disaster.
That's really beginning to tell too, because you're talking about the tires. There's a lot of illegal dumping going on now.
Oh, yes.
And so it's becoming quite a problem, not only site-wise, but health-wise. And tires can be recycled. Recycling does really work.
And,
so-
tires can be recycled
Yeah.
for so many things.
Yes.
Even on the playground now, they can use those tires
Correct.
to keep the kids from falling and hurting
Yeah.
themselves too much.
Yeah.
We can use it in carpeting. We can use it on so many things. Even some people had on clothes that had some kind of tire shreds
Yeah.
mixed in it. And it looked good.
Wow.
And it was something that they could reuse over and over again. So that's what we need to do. Recycle and reduce our garbage. We're the throwaway nation
Yes,
of
we
the
are.
world. Then we need to compost because, some people think, oh, it's going to be smelly and it's garbage, but it'll help fertilize the ground. It'll do so many great things. We need to save rainwater. So I tell you, they used to call me the tree hugger, and now they don't tease anymore because they said, oh, she talks trash all the time.
Yes,
She's
talking
a
trash.
trash talking legislator. But now it's so many others. And then the green movement, that's the new red, white, and blue.
That's awesome. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to you about maybe what things we can do to help push legislation forward in Georgia. So when we come back, we'll ask you that question. We'll be right back.
By playing Recyclopoly, I learned that I don't have to put my old broken bike in the trash. Instead, I can help the environment and recycle it. Learn what you can recycle. By playing Recyclopoly, I'm playing.
We're playing and it's fun, fun, fun. We're playing too.
Recyclopoly, the Go Green game that should be in every household, school, and business. Order yours today. www.recyclingworkstv.com.
Ew, Daddy, recycle this.
Where you learned that from, son?
Recyclopoly, Dad.
Play Recyclopoly and learn why and how recycling works in a fun way. Order yours today, 770-893-8861 or www.recyclingworkstv.com.
Welcome back to Recycling Works television show. I'm your guest host, Michelle Wiseman, and your co-host,
Judy Knowles.
And we're here with our guest, Senator Donzella James. And we were asking you about what we as citizens can do to maybe either help move legislation forward, or what we could do to maybe educate our citizens about what the benefits of the recycling and all the environmental issues that you talked about earlier.
Well, let me just applaud you on this show today, because you're doing one important thing. You're putting the message out about recycling, reducing, about how we need a safe, clean environment. So I'm very proud to be a guest on your show, because you're educating the people already. And that's the number one. You have to change the mindset of people. So that's one important thing. And what you could do even more is come to the Capitol. And there are not a lot of legislators that feel the way I do. So, you know, they think that environment is down low on the totem pole when it's a priority. It's up high with me. So we have to just let them see that people in their state want a clean environment, and that they need to focus on a clean environment. Some of them are in denial and saying we don't have global warming, we don't have this or that. So the more your presence at the Capitol during the session, from January to March, would be so great to be there and touch those people. And, you know, I'm one of them. I try to sit down and go one-on-one. I try to find someone who at least agrees with something that I'm talking about, and then I listen to them and what their concerns are. And so we form coalitions that way. So we built coalitions on different issues, but I always go back to the environment. Yes. And then we agree that they'll vote on something or vote against something that'll hurt our waters or whatever.
And the environment has a lot of economic influence now too.
Yes.
I think a lot of folks don't really realize that, at the jobs that it's bringing into Georgia and our communities, and what it has to do with our economic development within our communities, and our overall pride in ourselves and our state. And
just statistically, I know usually on an annual basis, just in the state of Georgia, we spend $100 million to landfill $300 million worth of resources. So statistically, probably about 80% of what goes into the landfills is recyclable.
And that was one thing that prompted the Zero Waste by 2020 legislation. The mere fact that I wanted to see more recyclables, and every distribution company or manufacturer of goods out of recyclables was telling me that they have to import the recyclables while we bury them.
Right.
And that's why, and then also I knew that to close down even more landfills, we had to recycle.
That's right.
We had to keep as much out of the waste stream. And we did reduce the waste stream greatly, but it's not enough. We still have to continue to stop making garbage.
We're throwing away money.
We are throwing away money, and then our trash is somebody else's treasure. Because, and if we had done the bottle bill, if somebody had thrown down a bottle or a can, somebody would have retrieved it quickly, because there is money. And who would dare leave a nickel or a dime or a dollar down?
There's your economic development right there.